Last I checked, the game of football unites the world and it's a game of fair play, love, and discipline. Many also tag the game of football as a measurement of solidifying people in unity, and there's never a room for racism or violations. You might be wondering why Kizike is starting off his show today like this. I'll tell you. But my question is, where is African football headed? Where is the love of African football? What is the love of African football? Should Libya still be a football nation, or better still banned away from the world of game of football, banned by FIFA and not CAF now? What is the Nigerian federal government doing about the Libya maltreatment and deportation of Nigerians in Libya? Well, all of those questions are for you. Good morning and many thanks for joining us on the Sports Republic show. We are Voice of the People TV, Lagos, Nigeria. I am your host and my name is Kizike. Now, let's start from this one. I don't even know how to start this one, but let me start from the part where campaign against Nigerians. So you begin to see that it's now big how people are suffering away from home. Following the CAF ruling, according to reports, we learned that all Libyan TV channels are urging the government to arrest Nigerian workers who are working in Libya without legal papers. Now, they have, it's that so big that you begin to wonder, why is this going on? I like to say it again so you understand. After that CAF verdict, that ruling, according to report, we learned that all Libyan TV channels are urging the government to arrest Nigerian workers who are working in Libya without legal papers. They have to pay $500, plus taxes, stating that the fine that Libya is accused of will be paid by Nigerian citizens who live in Libya. Now, talking about the Libyans, in the post that reads, "We have been subjected to injustice. We have no borders with Nigeria. What benefit are they to us? They are a burden on the Libya people. They have to go back home." The post was accompanied by a video of a Libyan TV presenter who said, "Anyone who is living in Libya and working without paying tax is eating haram." And when you hear the word haram, haram means sinful money. The government also should make every effort to arrest all Nigerians who are working in Libya so that they can pay a tax of $500 and regulate their stay in the country by obtaining residence permits. Now, another Libyan site, LibyaINF.tv, reported that Libyan stations wanted the government to start arresting Nigerian workers, stating, "Those who don't have Libyan papers will have to pay a fine of $500 for taxes. If you refuse deportation, no mercy. The Libyan government will pay the Nigerian government from their citizens' money." Now, still on the show, let's talk about the mass arrest. According to a Nigerian living in Libya, his name is Ajayi Emmanuel. He said that the arrest began on Sunday after the CAF statement was released in the country, and they were saying they can't accept it and that they are not the ones who will pay the money. Do you understand? Now, Ajayi Emmanuel said someone called him and said they have already begun arresting people in this area, and same thing was happening in Tripoli as of yesterday. Now, report states that in some places, people, Nigerians, were arrested on Sunday morning and afternoon respectively. In Ajayi's words, Libyans don't hide their feelings. They believe that by doing this, they are getting their revenge. But then the president of the Nigerian community in Libya, Peter Amorim, also confirmed that the Nigerians in a video, he saw this in the video shared by multiple Libya-based Nigerian blogs during the week. Now, Amorim, who confirmed this while making an official report at the Libyan Immigration Office on Monday, said the arrest started on Sunday night in some areas in Tendora. They are arresting innocent people. They don't even care whether you have passport or residence permit. They just don't care, which doesn't happen in other countries. Now, when asked to provide background to the incident, he said, The football body is in association with this one. But he said again, the football body is an association on its own, which the government isn't supposed to interfere with according to CAF laws. But according to Onorigbe, who is a community leader in Libya, he said, I received some video showing that the arrest started last night in Tentora area. That's for Sunday. They said the Libyan people have started arresting Nigerians, whether they have passports or not. Some of us are already afraid, calling everywhere to ask what to do. Sometimes, he said in his words, as a community leader, we are helpless. Even the Nigerian embassy hands are sometimes tied, but international bodies need to interfere in this situation. Moving on. 2 days after Morogwe's report, another Nigerian in the country, Omo Obalegba, that's the name, said the arrest has intensified. In a Facebook video posted on Wednesday, he said, please just listen to this now. He said, my Arab master, who is a policeman, like what people call policeman, just called me now and told me not to go out to buy anything because they have started arresting Nigerians in Libya. I asked him, what about those with Libyan passport? Because you feel like if you have a passport, you can work. Why not? Yes, we know how it works. Work permit, the residential, whatever. We know. Once you have that movement, you're cool. And he said he asked his boss, what about those who have the Libyan passport? But his boss told him they aren't considering passports. Anyone who is a Nigerian will be arrested. That's why I decided to alert our people so they know how far this issue has gone. And nothing, it's that so big. Now, according to Omar Legba again, he said the Super Eagles had what they needed and they've returned back to their club size and they've gotten their money. Whether they won or not, they will still be paid. They were paid. He now said, the one that touched me most, he said, if Nigeria was good, not me now saying, not a voice of the people TV saying, he said in his words, and I quote, if Nigeria was good, we wouldn't have come to Libya to suffer. The Nigerian team only faced a day hardship. What about other Nigerians here who face the same treatment every day? My Arab master told me that until the CAF fine is overturned, they won't stop arresting Nigerians. Please, we appeal to the Nigerian government to come to our aid. Now, similarly, Libya INF.tv posted a video on Thursday where a Nigerian pleaded with the Libyan police to stop discriminating arrests. He said, football has nothing to do with us. If you want to catch them when they come here. Leave us out of this. And to the Nigerian team, I don't know what you are thinking. Coming here to play football with the Libyan people, you don't have, I don't want to say the word is big, but I'm just going to say it so you understand. You know when person tell you, say you not get, you know what I mean, I go different. You not get, man, I go talk and I mean, I go be like Saturday. But that's what the statement reads and said. He said, I don't know what you are thinking. Talking to the Super Eagles, the NFF, you want to play a game against Libya. I don't know what you're thinking. You don't have, you know what I mean. Please, Libyan police, please, leave us. Now, let me go to another part before I tell you more. The Libyan Rights Institution warns security agents, and this is really going on at this point in time. Meanwhile, the chairman of the National Institution for Human Rights in Libya, Ahmed Hamza, has warned against retaliatory acts targeting Nigerian workers in the country in the aftermath of the CAF ruling. According to Libya Review, Hamza noted that some media platforms were inciting hostility towards foreigners by portraying them as illegal or irregular residents. Now, let me quote the man, Hamza. He said, we warn against any form of retaliation against foreign and migrant workers in Libya, especially Nigerian workers, by security forces, armed groups, or citizens. He cautioned that unlawful actions against foreigners could lead to repercussions in domestic and even international justice. Now, when Nigerian known news source, like a known source in Nigeria, like a news source, contacted the Libyan embassy in Abuja for comment, a lady who identified herself simply as Rose said she was not authorized to talk. She said, as you can see, I am not the media secretary. Whatever information you need, kindly put it into writing and send it to the Libya and send it to the embassy. Then they will respond to it. Address the letter to the ambassador of the Libyan embassy. And lastly on this part, our request for information from the Nigerian embassy in Tripoli was not replied to ask the press time. Now, when contacted when contacted, now the policeman, or better word, the spokesman for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Iwobi, simply said, I have sent a message to the Director of Africa. The Nigerians in Diaspora Commission had yet to respond to calls and a text as of the time of this incident reaching us. Now, moving on, let's talk about ex-envoy Oji's probe. A former Nigerian ambassador to Mexico, Ogbole Amedu Ode, said the federal government should investigate the retaliatory arrest and report Libya to African Union, he said. I believe the African Union are also saying this. Now, moving on. The Nigerian government doesn't have hardcore evidence, he said. And if they do, they should report Libya to the African Union. If Nigeria collates evidence of the maltreatment, the federal government can protest directly to the Libyan government over the Nigerians who are there and what they are facing. Now, Amedu Ode further advised Nigerians in the Arab country, not just Libya now, all Arab country, to keep low profiles until the situation was under control. If the atmosphere is too hot for them, they should leave Libya. Can I tell you something, Lagos City and beyond? Good people out there, I don't know where you're watching from right now, but let me tell you this. There are people who are Nigerians who invested or who have invested so heavily in Libya. Do you understand that? There are people who are in Libya at this point. They've invested so much that sometimes they begin to regret, I wish I invested in Nigeria. And one word, according to one of the men who I talked about, he said, if Nigeria was good, we would not leave Nigeria and go to Libya to suffer. In other words, indirectly, that word sounds a lot. But I have Ike with me on the show. Ike Chukwu, that's the name. I guess we'll be talking this through. While I'm giving you this update, he's just reminiscing, and it's like, oh, goodness me, what's going on? You know, I recall, I told you people, say, these North African people, not the year word. I tell you now, when they say they give them $50,000 fine, I say this money not rich. I talk on. It's not enough. This is where they get mine. They won't bend you and they go bend you, go outside. Wait till they want to take their mind. They don't they carry to they talk. And now we are seeing the repercussions. One even went as far as saying Nigerian players, they don't come. Only one day hardship. What about we in Libya facing this? Someone talked about the part where, what about if you have the work permit? You can move around. I mean, it's normal. I cannot go to some countries, not some, all the countries, basically, and work just anywhere I want. It's not possible. You must have that residential permit. You must have that work before you can tour around. But this time around, whether you get time or you not get time, they catch you for road there. They'll carry you. It's that so bad. But let's talk about this, and then this is how I feel for the Libya people, or for the Nigerians in Libya. I don't get feelings for Libya people, obvious. No disrespect to them, but I don't want to use the word I don't like them. I don't want to say that, but they don't even know what football is all about. I tell you. They don't know what the games bring. They don't know how this unites the world together. They don't know. So, you know, in Nigeria, we know about ethnic groups. We know about how this goes. In Nigeria, we know about the NSAS talk, the end bad governance. See, when it happens to do with football, everyone is coming together as one. And that's the reason why I asked that question when I started the show. And I said, which way Africa? This is a shame to African football. And I said, what is going on? Where is the love of football in Africa? And I asked this question, should Libya still be a footballing nation? Or better still, banned for life by FIFA? What is the Nigerian government doing about this Libya maltreatment and deportations of Nigerians in Libya? These are the questions we should be put into place. And that's how big it is. Ike, you're welcome. Great to have you. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us on the show.
Good morning, Kizzy, and good morning, Lagos.
How do you feel?
No,
sincerely, when I was going through all of this, when I was...
It's sad.
How do you feel personally? As a Nigerian?
Yes, not just as a Nigerian.
Generally.
Nobody deserves
to. No, you need to be a Nigerian, first of all, to feel this pain.
No. Actually,
oh, okay.
You need to be a human to feel this pain.
Human, that's human now.
Yes, you have to be a human. You have to feel people. I mean, nobody deserves to be in this sort of situation.
Right.
You know, where your hard-earned money is taken from you because you know your country won a game. It's not fair. It's not. Apart from the money that will be extorted from them, I know that there will be some level of harassment. You know, it's possible some of them might even be brutalized at the end of the day. So it's not something one would want to imagine You know, when you're traveling to other countries just to to earn a living. It's so sad, and especially as a Nigerian, where you know where you're coming from. Like that man actually said, if Nigeria was good. It says a lot about the nation and the country he's actually residing at the moment. It's so sad.
So let me ask you this question: what do you expect the federal government to do about this? First of all, let's start with that.
So I'll take it back to what the country El Salvador actually did, or rather Honduras, or both of them actually did in their own event, because it actually happened. This sort of situation happened in 1969, en route to the World Cup in Mexico in 1970, when the both of them played. As at that time, about 300,000 El Salvadorians were actually residents in Honduras.
Right.
And after they played, El Salvador actually qualified for the World Cup, and there was massive arrest, attack, brutalization of the El Salvadorian citizens. And of course, they actually, sent military men down to Honduras, and it became, a football war. It was tagged, and it lasted for 4 days until the organization of American state actually intervened and, of course, stepped in to quell the whole, fire. But in this case, Nigeria has reportedly reports to African Union, hoping to get a very good judgment, because it's gone beyond football now. It's now more of a government issue, a political issue, diplomatic issue, where both government have to sit down and then find a way to solve this whole problem. And I thank God Libya is actually moving towards democracy. They're making progress. Right. Of course, you remember they just elected their new leader on the 14th of October, talking about Ali Zaidan, who is now the Prime Minister of Libya. So we can now speak to somebody, not that they have two countries who don't know who to speak to. So we can now speak directly to Ali Zaidan and see if we can actually get,
a country with president at that point.
Yes, of course, now they have one who we can actually speak to, who is the Prime Minister now. And I think that this sort of thing is actually, first of all, right, I'll blame CAF.
How? Why?
Yes, I said it last time. I said $50,000 is like you're forcing them to do what they have in mind.
Okay, the money is small.
Yes, it's very small.
Is it the money? The measures was
exactly.
light.
So see, I'm not even interested in the money. I said it here. I said the money is not the issue. Ban these guys. If you ban them for 2 games, how they
2 games or 2 years?
2 years. That's what I said.
Okay.
If you ban them for 2 years, how are they expected to get the money? Do you understand?
But what if they have banned them for 2 years?
So,
will it not be worse for Nigerians in Libya?
See,
this one is only 50,000.
It has always been bad.
See, $50,000 alone.
See, now their excuse is they want to get back the money for. They want the Nigerians to pay the money.
That money.
That's their excuse. Now, if there's no money involved, which I don't actually see anything entirely wrong with asking them to pay fine, but then if there's no money involved, how are they? What would be their excuse?
Definitely, they should be fine.
No, I'm saying.
Okay, you're just saying.
What would be their excuse? If you ban them for 2 games, what would be their excuse for arresting?
2 years.
No, sorry.
Don't say 2 games.
2 years. If they ban them for 2 years, what would be their excuse for arresting Nigerians? What? It goes back. Now, look at how it all started. They said they are going to be picking people who are working illegally. And then, let's say that was what they're actually doing. This is why I say it is very dangerous when you throw comment out there as an authority.
Right.
Or you're trying to influence people to do things. People will definitely go out of order. Now, they've started from people with illegal papers down to people
who have
papers.
Legal papers.
And it's exactly how it happened in the case of El Salvador. Homes were bogged, businesses were destroyed, and all of that. A lot of persons have, at the end of the day, lose a lot of money in Libya. Nigerians living in Libya. Even, trust me, as it progresses, if it's not curtailed, other countries from perhaps Ghana and the like will also suffer the same thing.
Okay. So where are those countries who were supporting Libya, the North African side? All of those countries that were saying, yes, Libya, we have your back. What would they be saying about this now? See, you heard me say, someone said to Nigerians in Arab countries now, not just to Libya, live a low-profile life. Don't, see,
now, see, a lot of things must have gone behind the background before this whole thing started. I'm not saying they did. I'm saying it's possible they might have had meetings that, okay, this is what we're going to do. And they most of them might have been in the know that this is the first point of attack. If you attack this way, and then this is what CAF is going to respond with, and then we will do this and we will do that. A lot of things can be at play. We don't know. It's possible they might have met. But the question here is, how do we stop this? Like I said, approach AU. Let's have a conversation. If you extort Nigeria, see, Libya is actually not a stable country, so it's very difficult to actually find a way to actually stop this thing as at now. Because trust me, October 14 to November 3rd or 4th, it's not even up to a month. So it means that the sitting Ali Zaidan is actually just trying to make peace with both parties. There is still some person that is very much loyal to the other faction who isn't ready to listen to him. And when stuff like this happen in a country that is very much still unstable, it's very difficult to know, because Libyan authorities can also come out and say, you know what, yes, we decided to pick people who have illegal papers, but we are not part of people who are arresting and attacking people who have legal papers. Then how do you come out from that? Knowing that they're actually a country in distress at the point. Or rather, still trying to come out from distress at this point. So these are the big questions we are dealing with in the case of Libya.
I'd like to ask you this question. At the end of the day, what's the fate of Nigerians in Libya?
I'm going to be very brutally honest with you. There's nothing that will happen.
Why?
They've lost that money. I've told you, the country is still very much in distress. They've not settled. If it's a country that have settled...
But okay, is this a retaliation? Yes.
Obviously,
Revenge,
it is.
right?
It is.
But does the game of football call for violation?
That's...
See, okay, now let's take... Sorry.
Does it call for what?
Violation, I'm just saying.
It doesn't. That's why referee issue card.
Okay, that's one. Do you agree that is this a football problem or issue? Is it a football issue now, or is it a political issue?
It has gone beyond football. It's now a diplomatic issue. It's not a political issue. So it's a diplomatic issue.
Can CAF come into this?
Of course.
CAF can come into
CAF can come.
What's the role?
CAF can come in as a witness in the AU meeting. CAF can come in and say, this is what happened. This is the reports we got. This is the judgment we passed. But it is now left for both countries to sit down and iron out the issue. This is beyond football now. This is a diplomatic issue.
Okay.
Government.
All right.
We can talk.
So we expect a lot from the Nigerian government, from the federal government to intervene in this very one. It doesn't sound good to talk about. It doesn't sound good to share. But quickly, let's jump to the next place or the next phase. The AFCON qualifier. Super Eagles head to Abidjan as camp open November 10 for Benin clash. The Super Eagles will open camp for their African qualifying quest against the Cheetahs of Benin Republic in Abidjan, Côte d'Ivoire on Sunday, November 10. The invited players will fly straight to Abidjan for their respective bases. Now, Augustin Iguamo charges will take on the Cheetahs out of Hotbed Stadium in Abidjan in the Match Day 5 encounter on Thursday, November 14. The three-time African champions, who call them African Kings, will be home to the Iwobi of Rwanda 4 days later. The Super Eagles top the Group D with 10 points from 4 games. Benin and Rwanda occupying second and third position with 6 and 5 points respectively, while Libya occupying bottom spot with 1 point. That's good for them. I like it. Now, a draw against Benin Republic will be enough for the Super Eagles to confirm their place at the AFCON, which will be hosted in Morocco, and that will be in Marrakech. Now, okay, quickly let's talk about the Super Eagles. I don't want to ask you how prepared that we are, but once you already know a draw would go.
Of course, absolutely.
Are you expecting the coach to change the squad? Just give some players opportunity, because some players are hungry. They want to play. Aroko Dari is begging. I want to play. What's his name again? Akpokuma plays for Hoffenheim, defender. He lost out on the team because he got injured at the time, and they want to back to the team. They want to come back and play. Should they not give? We know his list is already prepared, but he can still change it. Should he give a space to some players who wants to be called up in the team, or should he continue what he has on ground?
I think we have to first. I think we have to first secure the bag first. Okay. When you secure the bag, then we can now talk about giving other players chance. See, forget it. Whether you like it or not, we can still not even invite any of them, and then after we've qualified, invite them for friendly matches, and then we'll still see them.
See what you want to say.
It's still the same thing. So yes, I am of the opinion that teams should be given challenges. When I mean challenges, I mean when you don't have people competing for your jersey, there's this laxity it brings. So yes, I'm of the opinion that many people should be invited, but of course, at this point, let them secure the bag. Then when they've secured the bag, we can now start talking about, okay, we are going to play this friendly against Ghana, we're going to play high-profile friendlies, and then invite them to see how they can actually hold their own against big nations. At the end of the day, we'll see who should make the call.
So nothing stops us from making it to the Nations Cup? Nothing.
At this point, nothing. Except God. Except God.
Except God. Okay, that's a big one. Now, huge omission from the national team. Super Eagles star Ajayi ruled out for 4 months. That's the bad news. Ajayi is said to be out on a very long injury after suffering a hamstring injury while in action for his club side. I'm talking about Simi Ajayi now. Ajayi, who has been shining out consistently in present performance for club and country, is expected to undergo surgery. He sustained a hamstring injury during his club's recent EFL Championship match against Cardiff City. And West Brom coach Carlos Kobe, and I'm talking about Ajayi, not Allah Aida. I beg your pardon, please. My producer behind will have to get on close to that very man. Now, Carlos Cobain has confirmed that Ajayi will undergo surgery, and he is expected to be out of actions for 4 months. That's a bad one. Now, moving on, according to reports, or you could say according to club coach Simi Ajayi, unfortunately has suffered a more difficult injury. It was an action which was an incident, an accident, you could say. In this action, he has broken his muscle in 2 parts. The best way to manage this injury is with surgery. Before surgery helps reduce the risk of suffering this type of injury again. So there are injuries which affect the tendon in specific areas where you have to have surgery. The surgery delays things by around 2 weeks, but it also reduces the risk of the injury recurring. Now, returning in about 16 weeks in the approximate time when you have this type of surgery, it's that big. Now, Simi Ajayi has played 12 matches for West Brom in the championship this season, and Ajayi's injury is a major blow for Nigerians ahead of the nation. Talking about this, let me talk about Ajayi with you. Is this a big blow for Nigeria?
Well, the gentle lion he's called. It is actually a big blow. He's one of those players you look at and you be like, okay, I see this guy and I'm comfortable. His synergy with Trostekong has made Nigeria one of the best defensive sides.
Right, and had a very good Nations Cup as well.
They have a very fantastic Nations Cup. It's a very big blow, but of course, yes, the Super Eagles have squad in depth, and I expect to see other players step in to actually show him that, of course, without you, the team will still be the team. And when he comes back, I want him to sweat to get back his jersey. This is what a very good team is made of. Not
just to come in and just automatically. No. But I think I love the way Guamba has been setting his team. Sometimes, I think during the qualifiers, he didn't start the game against Libya. He didn't get to start the first match, and even the second one was not played. So the first one, he didn't start. We had the 3 at the back, Trostekong and what's the name? Calvin Bassey gives that advantage from the left side. But Simi Ajayi, like you rightly said, you can't come back and get your shit. You must fight for it.
I want to see that in the Super Eagles. I want to see a team where when you're going out, you know that coming back will be very difficult. You see that sort of atmosphere is going to bring the very best in our players. I don't want to see, okay, he's gone injured, 2 months, he's back, and then whoever it is just leave that place. These guys. Let's have players come and compete. So, Simi Ajayi is good, but I don't think he's going to be.
But you sound like we've seen players who have just gone off and come back and collect their shit. Have you seen that?
We used to have that now.
Before.
Yes.
Okay, I'll pretend like I don't know what you're saying.
We had lack of.
It's okay. Don't worry. Leave it like that. We need to go on a break. Yes, we need to go on a quick break. When we return, the show continues. And I'd like to say this again. Uncle Ademola Lookman, I like to call him. That man is on fire. And when I return back, or when we return back, words, you will understand how big Ademola Lookman is. And we'll give you other Nigerian stories in the mix and also some club style football. Don't go anywhere, but I go talk him again. If CAF President Patrice Motsepe go banner like this, they not give Ademola Lookman that award. 16 December for Marrakech. Me personally, I go fight for him rights. Not be saying a station I go home, I'll come home. When I deal with us when they come back. Welcome back from that quick break. Let's talk about Super Eagles forward. Ademola Lookman first half race was enough to halt Napoli winning change as Atalanta beat Napoli 3-0 on Sunday. A 90+2 minutes goal from Matteo Retegui sealed the victory from the visiting team from Bergamo. That's a small side. Now, that's why Napoli coach Antonio Conte's tactical plannings. The former Chelsea manager efforts contained Lookman were not useful. It was so unsuccessful. Now, VOP TV earlier reported that Conte had warned, about Lookman's potential impact, noting that this is a big danger because Atlanta are a strong team. They won the Europa League by ending Bayern Leverkusen's long unbeaten record. Conte also reflected on Lookman's tactical edge and Lookman's ability to make defenders work hard, even drawing comparison to Arsenal's approach against him in the Champions League. He had said, Against Atlanta, Arsenal put Thomas Partey on Ademola Lookman, and it's not just about defenders, but the whole team working together to defend. But Lookman's first-half performance was once again underscored in the top form, having already netted 6 goals in 7 starts this season and ranked among the league best in the game. Now, VOP TV reports that in the intense Serie A clash between Napoli and Atalanta at the Stadio Maradona Stadium, Lookman scored in the 10th and 31st minutes, silencing the home team. Napoli won 4 out of last 5 matches played, with Atalanta winning only 1 in a head-to-head record. The return leg away at the same ground with a 0-3 thumping. Now, moving on. The 27-year-old man you have on your screen on Monday to that today has said a lot about his Ballon d'Or ranking and how far he's come. But meanwhile, Arsenal and Liverpool, were on the players' radar in the summer, wanted to sign him. But Lookman is just exceptional. And then let's talk about him, Ike. Ademola Lookman. I recall what you told me when you saw me first today. You said if they don't give her that award, it go bad. What will make this man? I keep asking you this question because every day as he unfolds, we see some political things in Africa. What will make Ademola Lookman not win that? The first goal is scored. I saw that first goal, and Keisa Zambo, McTominay, none of these guys could stop him. And the first goal was it Cataleria? Yes. Was that the first goal? I think the first goal was the one he cut in and he had to play with the left. He volleyed. No, that was the second goal. The second goal, he had to cut in and he played. But the first goal was a volley. Now, Lookman scoring the goal. I recall, I listened to the TV show when you said Atlanta will not get the results. You felt like it's a Napoli team because you respect Conte. But what have Lookman done in the Serie A so far? African best.
First of all, I want to say at this point we should be calling him, the awaiting African Footballer of the Year.
Okay.
But the question you asked, what will make him not win it? I've told you before and I'll say it again. The same thing I made Osegu for not winning.
Are we still going to see that kind of thing happen again now? I thought we've gone past that record.
Well, I don't know. Let's wait till December. Then we can actually say, okay, we've gone past that sort of thing. But Ademola Lookman is on fire. Nobody can take anything away from him. He single-handedly demolished Napoli and, of course, Antonio Conte's tactical display on the pitch. The thing with yesterday, or perhaps this last weekend's game, was that the big teams actually struggled. Arsenal struggled, Manchester City struggled, Napoli was expected to actually, win that game, of course, but then Ademola Lookman, stepped up and, of course, dispatched them. Now, looking at the Serie A as it is right now, Ademola Lookman is, if he continues on this train, he will likely end up as the best player in the league. Okay. Trust me. And that will earn him another Ballon d'Or vote.
Okay.
Right. It's going to be the first time we're having a Nigerian, compete this high, back to back. I'm talking about if he continues in this train. And it's going to be really not just good for Nigerian football, but for African football. It's been a long time we've had, after since the last time of Samuel Eto'o, it's been a long time we've had a true African superstar consistently making it through in the Ballon d'Or rankings.
But he's very consistent.
That's what I'm saying.
Playing-wise.
That if he does it again this year, the next year, it means that we'll begin to see, an African stepping up in the Ballon d'Or ranking consistently, and it's since the era of Samuel Eto'o that we last saw, an African player going for the Ballon d'Or shots consistently.
Okay, so let's talk about this quickly. The APL, Chelsea hold Man United to a 1-1 draw in the top 4. You know what's going on right now? The most expensive player in British football yesterday showed that, yes, I'm the man for the people. If it was maybe a manifesto, it works for me. Now, Moises Caicedo, second half strike, cancelled out a penalty from Bruno Fernandes as Chelsea salvaged a 1-1 draw with Man United on Sunday. It was United's first Premier League game since the sacking of manager Erik ten Hag. Chelsea are now fourth in the table on 18 points, while United, who had interim coach Ruud van Nistelrooy in that very game in the dugout, are in the 13th on 12 points after 10 games. United captain Bruno Fernandes scored from the spot in the 70th minute after Chelsea goalkeeper Robert Sanchez caught Rasmus Hojlund's foot when diving for the ball. The United captain stepped forward to send Sanchez the wrong way and put the side 1-0 ahead. But the mood in Old Trafford swiftly shifted when Casemiro failed to fully clear Chelsea's corner, which left the man, Moises Caicedo, the Ecuadorian, to fire a low volley that Andre Onana managed to set just a hand on, but could not stop it, sailing into the bottom corner. Ten Hag was sacked on Monday, with United languishing in the 14th. Last week, I mean to say, in the Premier League, while Ruben Amorim was named as a replacement on Friday and will arrive at the club on November 11. Okay, that game played yesterday. I saw both managers trying to get the result, and when I saw their post-match interview, I felt like they already knew this is what it's going to be. But you know why I'm happy about the Caicedo? I might not really be a fan in quote, like deep fan, but I like his play. He came to Chelsea, a struggling side under Mauricio Pochettino, and he felt like he was under pressure. He's not played to that level before. But looking at the way the Ecuadorian is playing now, he's now back to his game. He's now owning it. Although he almost had a record yesterday that Joe Barton had, back in the Premier League, like 7 straight yellow cards. But then he was just exceptional yesterday. He won the man of the match yesterday, and he played so well. But that fit, or you could say that foot that he entered was big. But at this level, he's beginning to manage game after game just as he goes. The first time he scored a goal in the Premier League was against Man United as a Brighton player. But yesterday as a Chelsea player, he did the same thing, replicating that form. Caicedo for Chelsea. Before we talk about the match, tell me about Moise Caicedo, the most expensive player in the Premier League history. I'll
tell you something. It is one of those things I was saying about Kylian Mbappe the other time when I was almost smoked when I said Kylian Mbappe is struggling because the Madrid stage is bigger than what he's used to.
Yeah.
When you come to a bigger stage, it naturally takes a toll on you. There's this you trying to get yourself, trying to acclimatize with what you're seeing. The pressure is high. It's coming from a side where if you don't win trophy for 10 years, it's not a big deal. But he's at a club where if you don't get trophies for 1 or 2 seasons, the manager will get sacked. And of course, when the manager gets sacked, they will start looking at the players. Is this guy good enough to play for Chelsea? We have the money to bring in someone that will replace you. Those sort of things will working on his head. And if you watch the last Copa America, he actually gave a good account of himself.
Right.
He showed that he's actually stepping up. He's taking the whole pressure of the big team, the Chelsea, and of course the London weather out of him. He wants to really now enjoy the game, and that's exactly what is expected of a new signing in a big environment. Yes, I'm so happy. I think it's one of the midfielders I really enjoy to watch. He's not a dirty player.
Yeah.
He likes to actually own and command the space. He reminds me of the diminutive Makalele, how he actually plays for Chelsea back in the days. It's a good one for him. It's also a good one for Chelsea. Now they will be able to beat their chest and say, we are gradually starting to see the value of our money spent on this Ecuadorian. And of course, for the Man United side, it's not really a surprise. We spoke about it, how new managers come in and, of course, steer the water, and then you see people trying to give a good account of themselves because they want to be in the manager's good book. Also, it's also the other effect it gives when a new manager comes is like what we call placebo, where there's actually no analgesic, there's actually no drug, and you're having a headache, and your mom just come and say, you know what, take this water, I added salt to it, drink it, it's going to cure the headache. This medicine is actually stronger than whatever medicine you're looking for. And you drink it, you feel a sort of relief. That's exactly what we are saying. If you give this already a job, the team will go back to where it was before, or even worse.
You think so?
Yes.
So, okay, wait. Let me get on the part. You're happy Amorim is coming?
Yes, Amorim is a step above Nistelrooy.
No, very, very well.
It's a step above Nistelrooy. Well. So, yes, I'm happy he's coming. I'm not saying Nistelrooy is bad. But
I mean, he did well in Dutch style.
Yes, what I'm saying is, this is a big stage for him.
Is it not a big stage for Amorim?
Now, Amorim is in Europe already. He's playing the Champions League. So yes, he's more exposed than Nistelrooy. And the quality of players Amorim is managing is bigger than the ones Ruud is managing.
Yeah.
And the quality of players United
then.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. The quality.
Sorry, let me get it right. So we don't go back and forth. Did you say the quality of players Ruud van Nistelrooy is managing?
Nah, at
the Dutch
before he was coming.
I thought you were saying at Man United.
So I'm saying that Amorim, the quality of players Ruud is managing here at United is even bigger than the one he was managing at the Dutch league. Right. Now the question is, after a while, if he stays on the job, after a while, these players become lax. Forget he's a legend, right? But they'll be like, then he probably like, okay, I can actually manage them. Tactically, we saw him yesterday. He's not actually tactically superb. The guys just want to play. They want to give their all. They want to show that the manager is actually the problem, not them. So these things happen. But when we see a coach, even if the quality is not good, you see how tactical he is. You know, okay, this man knows what he's doing. You understand? Yeah. So that's why I'm saying that, yes, it's a good one. And what Nistelrooy did was more like, what's his name? This man that won Chelsea their first UEFA Champions League.
Is it the Matteo?
The Matthew, what he actually did, he just came in and of course the boys started doing all they need to do and they won the UEFA Champions League. When they gave him the job for 2 seasons,
He had to flop. Okay, so on that game, quickly, let me just have a talk about that game. It was so intentional. I liked the gameplay from both sides. I think Man United side came out in masses. The fans turn-up was amazing. And they wanted to just get the result by all means. And when Bruno Fernandes, the Portuguese scored the goal, they felt like, yes, we are done. And what about the changes made by Ruud van Nistelrooy? We did see like-for-like changes. His Dutch brother came in late, George Zexi. But then those guys who started were not so that bad. I think the league has brought in a lot of stability in the backside. Mazraoui is amazing to watch. I like to say he's just been sensational. But the midfield, this did see Casemiro and Ugarte pairing, and that's a message that I feel like Amorim have got a job to do. Amorim knows Ugarte very well. He knows Lindelof, who have not started the game this season, and they both play for Amorim during his spell in the Portuguese side, and then he's coming to the club. So maybe it will be an advantage. But players like Marcus Rashford just hopefully need to live up to expectation. Alejandro Garnacho has already sealed his place in the team. Amado, what's the name? The Ivorian.
Amad Diallo.
Amad Diallo also trying to get his feet. But for Chelsea, who everybody knows are really trying to go, not like a back and forth. Eze Maresca has shown that, yes, I have a style of play. But it seems like this Chelsea side will make top four. I just have the feeling about Chelsea that I like the way the manager is twisting his team when it's right. He made a mistake in the Carabao Cup. He should have known that Chelsea is a small side, not by London awards, but by gameplay at this point in time. You're playing against a Newcastle side who came out with Alexander Isak in the start of the game. You don't have to rest on players. I know he's having 2 teams, but then I expected the likes of Cole Palmer to get to start that very game, but that's for the Carabao Cup. But for yesterday, they did well. Romelu Lavia paired with the Ecuadorian in the midfield. That was Enzo on the bench, and Mikhailo Mudryk came up again, not living up to expectation again. And Palmer, I think Chelsea's beginning to build that game around Palmer. That each time Palmer does not play, last season it was a little bit of Madueke, but each time Palmer is not on his A game, they struggle.
He has shown that he's got the class, so it's only reasonable to build your team around a player with
key player like that.
Yes. So it's not surprising. Most teams do it. You have someone you build your game around. Whenever he's not there, there will be the lapses.
Yeah.
The gap will be there. We can talk.
And when he's not playing well, the team is.
We can talk about Kevin De Bruyne. We can talk about Martin Odegaard. These guys are the focal points of their team. Every team has its focal point. Pep Guardiola in his days in Barcelona, Lionel Messi was his focal point.
Yeah.
We can go on and on. Once you have that player who has shown consistency, you most likely want to build your team around him. So it's not a bad tactical approach. I mean, it's only Jose Mourinho that you want to say he really doesn't build his team around a particular player,
right.
and that's because he's more of a defensive-minded coach. So it's understandable that we're saying this.
Okay, so we talked about the fans. Maybe on the show we'll not talk about this today, but I did see something. Guillermo, the son of Diego Simeone, yesterday. I watched Atletico Madrid play. And I was like, this is Atletico. Playing against La Palmas, this is not in the story. But then when it came, my man on the show talked about defense, prowess. This guy, tomorrow, I think I should talk about him. Guillermo, if you watch that match, Atletico Madrid against La Palmas, you will understand what I'm saying. That the manager, it's like, I am the man playing my son in the game, and he gave him a start. And the son of Diego Simeone won the man of the match in the La Liga EA Sports. His name is Goleano. Go and watch that goal again. Rodrigo de Paul also, had a very decent game where Solot came in and scored. And Rodrigo, who was booed by some of the ATM fans, Atletico Madrid, got some of those, accolades. So it's just about father and son staying. The same way his father plays, the same energy, the same goal scoring sense, the same agitation. And Argentina. I think Simeone is doing a lot for Argentina. Let me just give you an example. Acuna played under him. Molina played under him. Molina is in the team. His son now, Argentine. Julian Alvarez, Argentine. And what's the name again? Rodrigo de Paul, Argentine. Correa, Argentine. So all of these Argentina people, be like, say, I'm liking some of these things and I see them.
No, the thing is, right, certain countries have, their kind of football imprinted in certain clubs in Europe. Right. So, like, for example, Argentines, if you watch the way Argentines play, even back in their league, you see it's really not different from the way Atletico Madrid play. They like to be gritty.
So he's bringing at your time.
Yeah, so it's easy for them to actually adapt when they come to Atletico Madrid because they like to be gritty. They like to to grind results. They can be very technical,
right,
but they can be very strong. They are powerful. They are strong.
One of the highest paid coaches. You respect him?
I think he's still the highest paid
coach, right? Okay, let's leave that one and go and talk about this. Rasmus Hojlund in the story, and this is coming from former Sevilla manager Kike Sanchez Flores. He's coming to say he believes that incoming Man United coach Ruben Amorim will get the best out of Rasmus Hojlund. Recall that Flores managed former Portugal international Amorim when he was playing for, when he was the Benfica coach. Now, however, speaking with the reports, Flores stated that Hojlund will come out well under Amorim. With respect to Hojlund, the pack is the strength of the Wolves. He is a good striker, but he will only hit his high standard again if the team changes its level of performance. And then Ruben Amorim now has the chance to train very good players in Manchester United. Yes, he can do it with Rasmus Hojlund, what he did with Victor Gyökeres. Now, I remember, according to him, he said, I remember him as a clever and elegant commitment player. He was always close to his teammates. The way his team play reflects a high standard of discipline. He has a similar work ethic to former United boss Mourinho. Only time will tell if Ruben Amorim will reach that level. See, people have seen his potential, and also here in the studio, you can talk about him oftentimes. We've seen how good this man can be, but then it's on a level. You cannot compare the Premier League, the Portuguese football, to top-flight football in Europe. But then he's managing a sporting side. I respect him a lot. When I watch them play against Benfica, he's dealing with people. Playing against Porto, they struggle to get results. He's a good coach, no doubt. But you talk about level-wise. Is he on the high level to manage Man United? He reached standard.
Now,
is there a word like that?
Well, we have to look at managers. Every managers have. When I talk about looking at managers, I'm talking about the big managers we know today. They came from somewhere.
Yeah,
Ferguson from Aberdeen.
You're right.
Jose Mourinho from Porto.
You're right.
You can go back and back, and we'll see that they actually all started from somewhere. I would like to call humble beginning. So he might be the next big thing in football, manager-wise, but it does not take away from the fact that most managers, or many managers, who come from a relatively small team to a big stage struggle. Many of them don't know how to manage big space. Many of them don't know how to manage big players.
Right.
Many of them are just good coach, but terrible managers. Some are good managers, but terrible coach. So these are all of the intricacies that we would find out when Amorim stepped into the job. This is one thing. This is why one reason I said that Ruud van Nistelrooy yesterday actually showed that he's not really there tactically.
Yeah.
Hojlund was having a very good game. I do not see why he took him out.
Okay.
He was actually a menace to that Chelsea backline. Zexay is good, but he's not powerful. The Chelsea backline overpowered him. There was a goal, if it was Haaland that was on that ball, he would have scored. But Zexay couldn't run, and the defender had to come over to get the ball from him. So these are the things, right? A manager who understands how important you've been so far in the game, he'll just keep you there, even if you're not going to get the goal, but keep being a menace to the team.
Right.
Because after he took him out, Chelsea became comfortable, decided pushing more forward. But that's on the other side. Back to Amorim. It's only time that will tell, right? Like they will say, now time it will take, Sikoko will call him Papani.
Okay. All right. Let's talk about Iwobi on the show. Quickly, sometimes when you say people like Iwobi, you begin to ask questions and say, this one is just enough football, it won't play. He's a good player. But Super Eagles and Fulham midfielder Iwobi has announced the release. See, maybe tomorrow we'll have to bring that. I mean, I vibe to the song. The song's sweet too. I'm beside the hype palm. Iwobi now has announced the release of his second single titled What's Love. The former Arsenal player latest release follows his debut single, Don't Shoot, which has been streamed nearly 60,000 times on Spotify since it was released earlier this year. Now, moving on, Iwobi recently shared a video or shared the news on the social media platform announcing that the new single featuring collaboration with friends SPKS and M Brown is now available. You already know, on streaming platforms. Nobody say you need that advert. Not you go say. Now, the 7-year-old who has made over 250 Premier League appearances believes his music delivers an important message to young people. Captioning the teaser of the video for the new single on X, he wrote, "What's Love video out now. Link in my bio. Watch, stream, share, and vibe." That's from Iwobi. Now, speaking to the Standard UK on Thursday, that's in England, Iwobi said, Music has always been a passion of mine and a way for me to express myself away from football. Music is a great tool, and I've always used it as a productive way to share how I feel. Historically, no Premier League player has brought out music with their name and face attached to it, but I like to be different and make a difference. He said, growing up in an area of London that is challenging for some people, I know how hard it can be, and I'm grateful to have a platform to try and make a difference alongside, the work we do in the community. I hope, and he said, that my music is another way of proving that the young people do not have to feel that they have to fix it in just one box. I want them to be encouraged to achieve their dreams, to put their focus into positive things. Creating music doesn't take anything away from my football. It keeps me switched on, not off.
It reminds me of a certain goalkeeper in Germany. He dropped his spanner. He's
Right.
an engineer. And of course, he retired as one of the greatest goalkeepers. Talking about Oliver Kahn.
Yeah.
And of course, Cristiano Ronaldo building his brands
Right,
while
as
playing
well.
football. Gerard Piqué is another very good example. See, football is an art. Just like we see people act movies. Doesn't mean they will not have another life outside what they do.
Is it a source of income? Another source of income.
Well, call it multiple stream of income if you like. But then
Okay.
football, just like movie actors, it acts. Entertainment. So you can do other things outside.
So no one is saying you're
No,
not
nobody's saying.
entitled
If we've seen we've seen footballers act movies
to- Right.
while playing. Of course, if you watch the movie Go, right, that they captured about Santiago Munez, that Newcastle story. We had a lot of Zidane, David Beckham, so many footballers in that movie. So it's not new to see, a footballer in the entertainment world, either movie or music. It's good for Alex Iwobi. I would like to even listen to that song. Let me see what it sounds like.
Okay, so quickly we need to go now. Let me get on this one from my mobile here. Lookman Bamidele on the YouTube is really streaming and saying thank you so much for everyone who's streaming on the show. And he said, invite 3 to 4 new guys for a specific position. It will be good. Don't wait for friendly games before the missing space in the team is fixed. I think he was talking to you. Quickly, let me leave you with this top story before I call it a wrap on the show. Ola Aina scores first goal in 12 months as Forest trash West Ham 3-0. And also another headline making it round in football world. So Lanka delighted scoring 2 goals against Aston Villa. And then all of these and more stories about football will come your way later on by the guys when Jerry Apello will be here with James to take you through. Ikechukwu, thank you so much.
Thank you, Kizzy.
Thank you so much. All right, I need to go. We need to go now. You are still watching the Voice of the People TV. We have the media news coming up next, and that's for 12 p.m. Nigerian time. Please don't go anywhere. The show comes your way again 11 a.m. tomorrow, and that will be for Tuesday. I am Kizzy K, and that man, without you, the show is not anywhere good. I am the only football player without a jersey. I'll see you tomorrow. Same.